Dear students, now question number 171. What is the sum of the adjacent angles in a parallelogram? Sum of any two adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to what we know? So our answer is 180 degrees. The sum of any two adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180 degrees. So this is a one parallelogram here, ABCD. Okay. Angle A, angle B are the adjacent angles of a parallelogram ABCD, or angle B, angle C, adjacent angles, angle C, angle D, adjacent angles, angle A, angle D, adjacent angles. So here we know that sum of any two adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180 degrees, and they are supplementary angles. Sum of any two adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180. Next question. Write a comment on parallelogram like on the same base and lies in between same parallels. Right. Here we know that two parallelograms which having the same base and lies in between same parallels. Then area of the two parallelograms are equal. Two parallelograms which having the same base and lies in between same parallels. Lies in between same parallels. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F. ABCD is a parallelogram. ABEF is also one parallelogram. These two parallelograms are having the same base AB and lies in between same parallels AB and CF. AB and CF. Then area of the parallelogram. Area of parallelogram ABCD is equals to area of the parallelogram ABEF. ABEF. Okay. Two parallelograms which are having the same base and lies in between same parallels. Then area of the two parallelograms are equal. Okay, right. Now next question. What is rectangle? A parallelogram in which one angle is right angle is called rectangle. Right, rectangle means each angle is 90 degrees, opposite sides are parallel, length of the opposite sides are equal. So this is a rectangle ABCD. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. Each angle is 90 degrees. Length of the diagonals are equal. The diagonals are bisected to each other. Define Pythagoras theorem. In a right angle triangle, the square of hypotenuse is equal to sum of squares of remaining two sides. Suppose this is a ABCD ABC right angle triangle ABC is a right angle at B. The side which is opposite to right angle is called hypotenuse. So AC is the hypotenuse here. AC is the hypotenuse. The side which is opposite to right angle is called hypotenuse. Okay, so AC is the hypotenuse. In a right angle triangle, according to the Pythagoras theorem, what we know here? In a right angle triangle, the square of hypotenuse అంటే AC square is equal to sum of squares of remaining two sides. So sum of squares of remaining two sides means AB square plus AC square. In a right angle triangle, the square of hypotenuse is equal to sum of squares of remaining two sides. So according to the right angle triangle, this one, Pythagoras theorem. Okay, right. Now next question. What about diagonals of a rectangle? So in a rectangle, length of the diagonals, what about here? What we know? Length of the diagonals are equal. Length of the diagonals are equal. In a rectangle, the length of diagonals are equal. Lengths of the diagonals are equal. What is rhombus? A parallelogram in which two adjacent sides are equal is called rhombus. A parallelogram in which two adjacent sides are equal is called rhombus. Suppose this is a rhombus. In a rhombus, all sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite sides are parallel. All sides are equal. In a rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular bisected to each other. Perpendicular bisected to each other. Length of the diagonals are not equal. All these are the properties of the rhombus. Rhombus means a parallelogram in which two adjacent sides are equal is called rhombus. So in a rhombus, all sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, opposite angles are equal, the diagonals are perpendicular bisect to each other, length of the diagonals are not equal. Okay. Next, write a comment on square, rhombus, rectangle. Write a comment on square, comma, rhombus, comma, rectangle. Right. All squares are rhombuses, but converse need not be true. స్క్వేర్లన్నీ కూడా రాంబస్లు కావచ్చు, అవుతాయి, కానీ రాంబస్లన్నీ స్క్వేర్లు కావు. రైట్. స్క్వేర్ ఈజ్ ఏ రాంబస్ అండ్ రాంబస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ స్క్వేర్. స్క్వేర్ ఈజ్ ఏ రెక్టాంగిల్ అండ్ రెక్టాంగిల్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ స్క్వేర్. Square is a all squares are rhombuses and also rectangles. This converse need not be true. స్క్వేర్ అనేది రాంబస్ కావచ్చు, రాంబస్ అవుతుంది, అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం రెక్టాంగిల్ అవుతుంది. అంటే ఆల్ ద ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్స్ ఆర్ కెన్ సాటిస్ఫై ద ఆల్ ది ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ రాంబస్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం rectangle also. Therefore, square is a rhombus and rhombus is not a square. Square is a rectangle and rectangle is not a square. Okay. How diagonals divide rhombus? In a rhombus, the diagonal can divide 4 equal parts. That means 4 congruent triangles. 4 congruent triangles. Triangle OAB, triangle OBC, triangle OCD, triangle OAD. All these 4 triangles are congruent triangles. That means in a rhombus, the diagonals can divide it into 4 congruent triangles. Okay. Right. Now 180. What is the sum of adjacent angles in a rhombus? Sum of any two adjacent angles in a rhombus is equals to 180 degrees. Rhombus lo next parallelogram, rectangle. In rhombus, in rectangle, in square, in parallelogram, sum of any two adjacent angles equal to 180 degrees. So sum of any two adjacent angles in a rhombus is equal to 180 degrees. That means they are supplementary angles. Right. What is square? A rectangle in which adjacent sides are equal is called square. Rectangle lo adjacent sides equal avute, that form a square. In a square all sides are equal, each angle is 90 degrees, opposite sides are parallel, length of the diagonals are equal, the diagonals are perpendicular bisected to each other. Okay, right. Next question. Write a comment on quadrilaterals. All trapeziums are quadrilaters. All parallelograms are trapeziums. All rectangles are parallelograms. All rhombuses are parallelograms. All squares are rectangles. Okay. All squares are rhombuses. All squares are rectangles. All squares are parallelograms. All squares are trapezium also. Okay. Right. Now next question. What is meant by quadrilateral? Quadrilateral means it is a closed figure with four sides. It is a closed figure with four sides. Quad means four. Lateral means sides. That means closed figure with four sides. Right. Next one. What is meant by quadrilateral? A figure bounded by four sides is called quadrilateral. Already discussed in previous question. Okay. Now 185. Every quadrilateral has four sides, four vertices, four sides, 1, 2, 3, four vertices, four angles, two diagonals. Right? Four vertices, suppose A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, four vertices. Sides A, B, B, C, C, D, A, D. Four angles, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. A, C, comma, B, D are the diagonals. What is vertices? Meeting point of two sides is known as vertices. Meeting point of two sides, suppose A, B, C, D, B, C. A, B side, C, B side meet at B. This meeting point is known as the vertex. So this one is known as vertices. This one is known as one vertex. This one is known as one vertex. So A, B, C, D are the vertices of a quadrilateral ABCD. Meeting point of two sides. Meeting point of two sides. Your meeting point of two sides is C. Meeting point of two sides is this one is D. Meeting point of these two sides is capital A. Okay. So these are called vertices. What is side? That is known as the line segment. Line segment. this is one side, this is one side, this is one side, this is one side. Here we have four sides. A closed figure with four sides is called quadrilateral. Quadrilateral having how many sides? Four sides. Line segments. What is angle? The amount between initial ray and terminal ray is called angle. Suppose this one ray, initial ray, now we can terminate it. So this is terminal ray. The amount between initial ray and terminal ray. Initial ray and terminal ray. The amount between initial ray and terminal ray is known as the angle. So angles are generally angle is denoted by theta. Okay, so this is angle. What is diagonal? A diagonal is a line segment obtained by joining the opposite vertices in a quadrilateral. The line segment joining obtained by opposite vertices. So this is known as diagonal. Next, this one is known as diagonal. Opposite vertices. A diagonal is a line segment obtained by joining the opposite vertices. Joining the opposite vertices. Write properties of the rectangle. So how many properties we have here? See here, this is one rectangle here, A, B, C, D. Opposite angles are equal, but each angle is 90 degrees. Opposite angles are equal, but each angle is 90 degrees. Length of the opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. Right? The diagonals are bisect to each other. The length of the diagonals are equal. All these are the properties of a rectangle. Opposite angles are equal, but each angle is 90 degrees. Opposite sides are parallel. Length of the opposite sides are equal. Okay. The diagonals are bisect to each other. Length of the diagonals are equal. Write properties of square. So this is the one square here, A, B, C, D. In a square, all sides are equal. All sides are equal. All angles are equal, but each one is 90 degrees. All angles are equal, but each one is 90 degrees. Opposite sides are parallel. Okay. The diagonals are mutually perpendicular bisect to each other. Diagonals are mutually perpendicular bisect to each other. And length of the diagonals are equal. Okay. Length of the diagonals are equal. The diagonals are mutually perpendicular bisect to each other. All sides are equal. All angles are equal. Each angle is 90 degrees. Okay, all these are known as the properties of the square. Right. Write properties of a parallelogram. Parallelogram. Right. A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel, length of the opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal. Okay, opposite sides are parallel, length of the opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal. Sum of any two adjacent angles of a parallelogram is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, the diagonals are bisect to each other. The diagonals are bisect to each other. Length of the diagonals are not equal. Length of the diagonals are not equal. These are the properties of parallelogram. Properties of rhombus. Right. ABCD is a rhombus. The properties of rhombus. Opposite sides are parallel. All sides are equal. Length of all sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Okay. Opposite sides are parallel. Length of all sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Sum of any two adjacent angles in a rhombus is equal to 180 degrees. Next, the diagonals are mutually perpendicular bisect to each other. Perpendicular bisect to each other. Length of the diagonals are not equal. Length of the diagonals are not equal. AC is not equal to BD. Length of the diagonals are not equal. Opposite sides are parallel. All sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Okay, the diagonals are perpendicular bisect to each other. The length of the diagonals are not equal. All these are known as the properties of a rhombus. Right, properties of trapezium. In a trapezium, so this is a trapezium here, ABCD. Only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. AB parallel to C, AB parallel to DC. Only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. AB parallel to DC. So, sum of all four interior angles of a trapezium is equal to 360 degrees. Sum of all four interior angle of a trapezium is equals to 360 degrees. Area of the trapezium, what is the formula? Half into h into a plus b. Here a comma b are known as length of the parallel sides. H means the distance between two parallel sides. So this is h, this is a, this is b. Area of the trapezium is equal to half into h into a plus b. Right, next, write properties of kite. ABCD is a kite. The length of two adjacent sides is equal. Length of adjacent sides of two pairs, only two pairs. AB is equal to AD, BC is equal to CD. Is known as the kite, not opposite sides equal. So AB is equals to, only AB is equal to AD. Next, CB is equals to CD. So this one is known as the kite. In a kite, length of the diagonals are not equal. In a kite, A kite is also known as one quadrilateral because it contains four sides. It is a closed figure. Sum of all four interior angles of a kite is equal to 360 degrees. Sum of all four interior angles of a kite is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. Right, now next question. What is a regular quadrilateral? A regular quadrilateral is a square. Remaining are irregular quadrilateral. Regular quadrilateral means all sides are equal. All angles are equal. Okay, now a quadrilateral which having all sides are equal and all angles are equal is known as regular quadrilateral. So here we have five types of quadrilateral. In these quadrilateral, only the square is a regular quadrilateral. Remaining all four are known as irregular quadrilaters. Only square. Okay. Next question. Which quadrilateral is formed by joining midpoints of given quadrilateral? So suppose this is a one quadrilateral here, A, B, C, D. Now joining midpoints of the sides. So midpoint of AB, this is something E, midpoint of BC, F, midpoint of CD, G, midpoint of AD, H. Now joining these all four midpoints. So therefore this form a which type of quadrilateral here? This is a parallelogram. Okay. The quadrilateral formed by joining the midpoint of quadrilateral is known as the what is a parallelogram. So that form a parallelogram. Let ABCD is a quadrilateral in which AB is the longest side and CD is the shortest side. Right, ABCD is a quadrilateral. AB is the longest side. CD is the shortest side. Right. Let ABCD is a quadrilateral in which AB is the longest side and CD is the shortest side. Then, right, angle C greater than angle A and angle D greater than angle B. The angle which is opposite to the greater side, that one is greater angle. The angle which is opposite to the greater side, the angle is greater angle. The angle which is opposite to the smaller side, that angle is smaller angle. So here AB is the greatest side. That means angle D is greater than angle B. Angle C is greater than angle A. The angle which is right. So comparatively, angle A, angle C, angle C is the greatest angle because angle C is the opposite to the longer side. Angle C is opposite to the longer side. Similarly, with respect comparatively angle B, angle D. So here angle D is the opposite side to the longer side. Therefore, angle D is greater than angle B. Same time, angle C is greater than angle A. Okay. Right, now next question. Write different quadrilaters which are parallelograms. Right. We know that every square is a parallelogram. Every rectangle is a parallelogram. Every rhombus is a parallelogram. So square, rectangle and rhombus are parallelograms. Every square is a parallelogram, every rectangle is a parallelogram, every rhombus is also parallelogram. Therefore square, rectangle and rhombus are all are parallelograms. Which quadrilaterals are not parallelograms? Kite and trapezium are not parallelograms. Trapezium means only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. Therefore, trapezium is not a parallelogram. Kite means only two pairs adjacent sides are equal. Kite is not a parallelogram. Trapezium is not a parallelogram. Can we say square is a rectangle? Yes, we can say every square is a rectangle. Can we say square is a rhombus? Yes, square is a rhombus. Every square is a rectangle, every square is a parallelogram, every square is a rhombus. Okay. Can we say parallelogram is a trapezium? Yes, we can say parallelogram is also trapezium, but trapezium need not be a parallelogram. Trapezium need not be a parallelogram, but every parallelogram is a trapezium. What is the angle sum property of a quadrilateral? Sum of all four interior angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. Sum of all four angles of a quadrilateral is equal to what we know here? 360 degrees. Okay. Right, now next question. What is cyclic quadrilateral? Cyclic quadrilateral means all four vertices of a quadrilateral lie on the same circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. Suppose ABCD is a quadrilateral. All four vertices of a quadrilateral AB, A, B, C, D lie on the circle is known as cyclic quadrilateral. Four vertices of a quadrilateral is touches the circle is called cyclic quadrilateral. So ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. When the four vertices of a quadrilateral ABCD lie on the circle is known as cyclic quadrilateral. Draw a cyclic quadrilateral. A, B, C, D. All four vertices lie on the circle. So therefore ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Write first theorem of parallelogram. What is here? A diagonal of a parallelogram divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. Parallelogram, a diagonal can divide it into two congruent triangles. Suppose ABCD is a parallelogram. Here AC diagonal can divide the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. That means that can divide into two equal triangles or equal area triangles or equal parts. Okay, so triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ACD. That means it can divide it into two congruent triangles. Now next one, write second theorem of parallelogram. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. Already we know here, in a parallelogram, the length of opposite sides are equal. Length of opposite sides are equal. So AB is equal to DC, BC is equal to AD. This one is the second theorem of parallelogram. Third theorem of parallelogram. If each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is parallelogram. If each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral, right? When the opposite sides of a quadrilateral are equal, is known as parallelogram. In a parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal. Length of the opposite sides are equal. So AB is equals to CD, BC is equal to DC. If each pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is equal, then it is form a parallelogram. Right. Now fourth theorem. In a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. In a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. Angle A is equal to angle C, angle B is equals to angle D. Opposite angles are equal. This one is fourth theorem. Now fifth theorem. If in each pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral opposite angles are equal, then it is a parallelogram. If in a quadrilateral opposite angles are equal, then it form a parallelogram. So if angle A is equal to angle, suppose ABCD, if angle A is equal to angle C and angle B is equal to angle D, then ABCD form a parallelogram. ABCD form a parallelogram. Now next one, write sixth theorem of parallelogram. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect to each other. In a parallelogram, the diagonals are bisect to each other. Bisect. That means one diagonal can bisect the other diagonal. Bisect to each other. So ABCD is a parallelogram. AC is one diagonal, BD is another diagonal. The diagonals are bisect to each other. That means suppose intersecting point is O. OD is equal to OB. At the same time, OA is equal to OC. AC diagonal can bisect the BD. BD diagonal can bisect the AC. Bisect means that can divide it into two equal parts. Seventh theorem. If the diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other, then it is form a parallelogram. Right. If in a quadrilateral the diagonals are bisect each other, then that form a parallelogram. If the diagonals are quadrilateral bisect each other, then that quadrilateral form a parallelogram. A quadrilateral is next eighth one. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram if a pair of opposite sides is equal and parallel. Right. Suppose ABCD is a parallelogram. The pair of opposite sides are parallel and equal. The pair of opposite sides are parallel and lengths are equal. Next question. How you can prove given quadrilaterals is a parallelogram? First one. Opposite angles of a quadrilateral are equal. The diagonals of the quadrilateral bisect each other. A pair of opposite sides is parallel and equal length. Opposite sides are equal. Every diagonal divides the parallelogram into congruent triangles. Two congruent triangles. Okay. right? Next one, what is the midpoint theorem? Midpoint theorem. Right, a line in a triangle, a line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle is parallel to one side, then it can bisect the its third side. In a triangle, a line can drawn a line is passing through midpoint of one side is parallel to one side another side, then it can bisect the its third side. Suppose midpoint of AB D, this is passing, a line is passing through T which is parallel to BC, then DE can bisect the AC. DE can bisect the AC. What is the converse of midpoint theorem? Oh, converse of midpoint theorem. Next, no. Now 217. Question number 217. The line segment joining the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and equal half of it. Right. This is known as midpoint theorem. In a triangle, a line joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to its third side and half of it. Suppose ABC is a triangle, AB midpoint of ABD, midpoint of ACE. Now D is parallel, if D is parallel to BC and D is equal to half of BC. In a triangle, a line joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to its third side. And half of it. Yeah, this is known as the midpoint theorem. A line joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to its third side. That means DE parallel to BC and half of it. Therefore, DE is equal to half of the BC. So this one is known as midpoint theorem. So DE is parallel to BC and DE is equal to half of BC. D, E are the midpoints of the sides AB and AC respectively. Okay. Right. Now next, converse of midpoint theorem. A line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle to another side which is parallel to another side, then it can bisect the third side. Right. ABC is a triangle, midpoint of AB something D, a line joining line through D which is parallel to BC, then DE can bisect the AC. DE also can bisect the AC. That means E is the midpoint of AC. AE is equal to EC. Okay. A line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle to another side and which is parallel to BC actually, BC. Here DE can bisect the AC. Okay. A line drawn midpoint of one side is parallel to another side, then it can bisect the third side. Okay. What is intercept theorem? if there are three or more parallel lines and the intercepts made by them on a transversal are equal, then the corresponding intercepts on any other transversal are also equal. Three or more parallel lines and the intercept made by them on a transversal are equal, then the corresponding intercepts on any other transversals are equal. Three or more parallel lines intercepted by them on a transversal are equal, then the corresponding intercepts on any other transversal are also equal, right? Corresponding angles, okay na? Are equal, then the corresponding intercepts on any other transversal, right? So corresponding angles are equal, alternative interior angles are equal, alternative exterior angles are equal for these all parallel lines. L, M, N, this P is a transversal. Okay, suppose this angle is equal to this one. Suppose alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma. All these are the corresponding angles. Corresponding angle means two angles which are having the same side of the transversal. One is interior, another one is exterior, right? What is the nature of triangle formed due to joining the midpoints of sides of a given triangle, right? So this is the ABC triangle. Midpoint of AB T, midpoint of BC E, midpoint of AC F. Now joining all these midpoints, this triangle can divide the whole triangle into four equal parts or four congruent triangles. The four triangles formed by joining the midpoints of the sides of a triangle respectively are congruent. Okay, the joint line, a triangle joining the midpoints of sides of a triangle ABC, it can divide the whole triangle into four congruent triangles, right? Which type of quadrilateral is formed by joining the midpoints of any quadrilateral? Already we discussed in previous question that form a parallelogram. Midpoints A, B, C, D is a quadrilateral. Midpoint some P, Q, R, S. Now joining all these four midpoints, the PQRS form a parallelogram. What is the area of a parallelogram formed in above question? The area of a parallelogram formed is always half of the area of the quadrilateral. Midpoint P, Q, R, S. So A, B, C, D is a quadrilateral. Area of the quadrilateral A, B, C, D is equal to area of A, B, C, D equal to 2 into area of parallelogram PQRS, or area of the parallelogram PQRS is equal to half of the area of the quadrilateral ABCD. A quadrilateral has how many parts? A quadrilateral having 4 vertices, 4 angles, 4 sides, 2 diagonals. Okay, 4 angles, not 10. Angles, 4 vertices, 4 sides, 4 diagonals, 2. Okay, do we right do we require 10 parts to construct a quadrilateral? It is not necessary to know all the parts of to construct the quadrilateral. If we know 5, maximum 5 parts, maximum 5, it will be able to construct a quadrilateral. Maximum 5. Okay, how many elements are sufficient to construct a quadrilateral? 5, only 5, maximum 5. Write 5 elements of quadrilateral to construct a quadrilateral. We can construct a quadrilateral with 4 sides, 1 angle. 4 sides, 1 angle. 4 sides, 1 angle. We can construct a quadrilateral with 3 sides, 2 angles. We can construct a quadrilateral with 4 sides, 2 sides, 3 angles. We can construct a quadrilateral with 3 sides and 2 angles. We can construct a quadrilateral with 2 adjacent sides and 3 angles. All these are the maximum. How many elements we have here? Only 5. Maximum 5. What are the important points kept in your mind to construct a quadrilateral? Sum of any two sides sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than third side. Sum of all angles of a interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Sum of all 4 angles of a quadrilateral 360 degrees. Okay, first one is sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than its third side, and difference of any two sides of a triangle is less than its third side. Sum of all interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Sum of all 4 interior angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. Which points kept in your mind to draw parallelogram? Opposite sides are parallelogram are equal. Opposite angles are equal. The diagonals are bisect to each other. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite angles are equal. The diagonals are bisect to each other. These are the properties of a parallelogram. How diagonals bisect in rhombus? The diagonals of rhombus bisect each other at right angle. That means mutually perpendicular bisect to each other, or perpendicular bisect to each other. Rhombus. Perpendicular bisect to each other. In trapezium, one pair of opposite sides are parallel. Only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. Okay. Right now, all sides of rhombus are dash equal. All sides of rhombus are always equal. All sides of a rhombus equal. Opposite angles of a rhombus equal. Okay, thank you.